It's Nolan. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everyone is doing well out there. Now, as this evening comes to an end, I was not expecting to do any more additional content on the channel. However, it was brought to my attention that Florida rapper Plies has now issued a lawsuit against Glorilla, Megan Thee Stallion, and Cardi B, and Soulja Boy. As a matter of fact, he is now suing all of these artists for copyright infringement and improperly sampling a record that he put out in 2008 that he purports is being used without his permission. Let's get into it, man. We're going to have to see what Plies is talking about. We know that he was out here advocating hard for Kamala Harris. He was checking in on the people earlier today. He earned a lot of favor with black women. You know what I'm saying? But it looks like he's about to rip all of that away in the quest to get some money. Now that Trump is in office, all of that black woman ally stuff is out the window. He's trying to get the check. All right? Let's dig into it. I have the lawsuit. We're going to go ahead and pull it up, go through it, try to understand it, right? Because things are looking mighty crazy right now. All right, here we are. As y'all can see, this was filed by Walter Mosley, Esquire, from Mosley and Associates on 601 South Figueroa Street, Suite 4400, Los Angeles, California. I think it's very interesting that this was filed on Fig Street. And you know, Megan got a song called Figaro on the Megan album. Although this is not primarily aimed at Megan, you know, because this is a Glorilla record. The whole wannabe remix in which he's alleging his original composition is being used. Again, we shall see. All right. In the United States District Court for the Central District of California, we've got Algernon Lanier Washington, a.k.a. Plies, an individual. Ronell Levat, an individual. World Music Group International, LLC, a Florida LLC company. Brandon Creer, an individual, and Alexander Martin, an individual. I am assuming all of them contributed to the original song that Plies is trying to sue on behalf of. And on the other end, we've got Gloria Hallelujah Woods, an individual. Megan Javon Ruth Pete, an individual. Hot Girl Music Productions, LLC. I find that to be very interesting that he's suing Megan's company when Megan only wrote and performed on the record. She didn't take the composition or the sound recording, but since she appeared on it, whatever. A New Mexico Limited Liability Corporation. Universal Music Group is in here. A Delaware corporation. Interscope Records, which is a division of Universal, right? Collective Music Group, which is CMG, Yo Gotti's label, where Glorilla is signed to. A Tennessee Limited Liability Corporation. Belcalis, she's got an interesting name. That's Cardi. Marlenis Almanzar, an individual. DeAndre Cortez Way, that's Soulja Boy, an individual. SODMG, that's Soulja Boy's label. Stacks on Deck, Money Gang. A Delaware corporation. Caleb Hart Music, which is the label that originally signed and found Soulja Boy. A Georgia corporation. Right? So all of them are defendants in this lawsuit in which Plies is trying to redeem some sort of financial gain. We're going to skip the legal counsel. All right. This action arises under the Copyright Act of 1976, Title 17 U.S. Code. This court has federal question jurisdiction under 28 U.S. Code 1331 and 1338 A and B. Venue is proper in this judicial district. Blase blah. Plaintiff Algernon Lanier Washington, also known as Plies, is and at all times relevant hereto was an American rapper, songwriter, and composer. Plaintiff Ronell Levat, professionally known as Big Gates, is and at all times relevant hereto was an American songwriter, composer, and producer. As I stated, World Music Group. They are operating as a publishing company. Makes sense. Plaintiff Brandon Creer, professionally known as Necronom, is and at all times relevant here too, was an American producer, composer, songwriter. Like I said, these are all contributors to the original song that Plies put out. I believe it was released in 2008. Plaintiff Alexander Martin, herein referred to as Alexander Martin, is at all times an American composer and songwriter. The term plaintiffs, as used herein, includes Plies, Big Gates, WMGI, Necronom, and Alexander Martin, except as context dictates otherwise. Plaintiffs are informed and believe, and based thereupon, allege that all times relevant hereto, defendant Gloria Hallelujah Woods, professionally known as Glorilla, was and is an American rapper and performing artist and conducting substantial, continuous, and systematic business in the state of California and in this judicial district. Okay? We're going to skip past all of this because we've already named all of these people. Just want y'all to understand who was all being named. And we shall make our way down. That's Cardi B, blah, blah, blah. Factual allegations. This is where everything goes. Okay? Plaintiffs are authors, composers, producers, and publishers of the sound recording and underlying musical composition entitled Me and My Goons. That is Plies' original record. The copyrighted material. Plaintiff Plies is the owner of Slip and Slide Records, Inc., and therefore the owner of the copyright in the copyrighted material. I did not know that Plies currently owns Slip and Slide Records. Somebody should have told me that by now. They say on or around December 15th, 2008, Plies' album, Grrrls, including Me and My Goons, was released through Slip and Slide Records, Inc., and exclusively licensed to Atlantic Recording Corporation. The copyrighted material has since enjoyed significant recognition and commercial success. On or around June 15th, 2009, the sound recordings and album artwork of Grrrls were duly registered with the Copyright Office by claimant Slip and Slide Records Incorporated. Evidenced by registration number, so that's the copyright number, all that good stuff. On or around February 20th, 2013, the sound recording, performance, and production of Grrrls were duly registered with the Copyright Office by claimant Slip and Slide Records through Atlantic with another registration. This is where we get into the suing of Soulja Boy. On or around June 10th, 2010, defendant Soulja Boy released the song titled Pretty Boy Swag, the infringing work number 1, performed by Soulja Boy and distributed, publicly performed, and promoted by defendants Interscope, Color Pop Music, and SODMG. Infringing work number 1 incorporates substantial elements of the copyrighted material underlying Me and My Goons and interpolated, replayed, and or reproduced distinctive and protected elements of the underlying copyrighted material, including its melody, rhythm, and or lyrics. Upon information and belief, in or around 2024, defendant Soulja Boy authorized Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla to sample the infringing work number 1, right? So we've got Plies' original song, Me and My Goons. He's saying that Soulja Boy came and sampled his record to create Pretty Boy Swag in 2010. It was not properly cleared at that time. I don't know why nobody sued back then. That would have been the perfect time to sue because that was at the height of its popularity. But you know, I guess maybe Plies and his team never heard Pretty Boy Swag at the height of its popularity. On or around April 5th, 2024, defendants Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla released a song titled Wanna Be, the infringing work number 2, performed by Glorilla featuring Megan Thee Stallion. Infringing work number 2 was released through Interscope and CMG and has been distributed, performed, and promoted across various platforms, including but not limited to streaming services, digital downloads, and public performances. Right? The infringing work number 2 incorporates substantial elements of the copyrighted material underlying Me and My Goons without authorization from plaintiffs, basically stating that Plies, Slip and Slide, and his other plaintiffs named in this lawsuit had no knowledge of the sample being used, and they also did not authorize it. That is his story. The defendants unlawfully sampled, interpolated, replayed, and or reproduced distinctive and protected elements underlying the copyrighted material, including its melody, rhythm, and or lyrics. On or around May 31st, 2024, defendants Megan Thee Stallion, Glorilla, and Cardi B released a remix of infringing work number 2 titled Wanna Be Remix, infringing work number 3. through Interscope and CMG, which has been distributed, performed, and promoted across various platforms, including but not limited to streaming services, digital downloads, and public performances, which is where Cardi B's name is now included in the lawsuit, just for a little extra oomph. I'm quite sure Megan and Cardi will be removed with their legal assistance, but as it stands, they are all included, and their labels will probably be removed as well. Again, the infringing work number 3 again incorporates substantial elements of the copyrighted material underlying Me and My Goons without the authorization from plaintiffs. The plaintiffs never granted any license, permission, or authorization to the defendants to use any portion of the copyrighted material in infringing work number 1, number 2, nor infringing work number 3. Upon information and belief, the defendants had access to and were aware of the copyrighted material before creating and releasing infringing work number 1. So he's basically saying everybody had to know his song existed and they pulled from it and they copyright infringed upon it, right? He says that the similarity between the copyrighted material and these 3 infringing works is so substantial that it cannot be attributed to coincidence. Now, if you ask me, this is all some Fruity Loops bullshit that everybody turned into something. And there's a song that predates all of this that used some of the same sounds that we're going to get to in a minute. Some of y'all pointed this out to me. Some of my Texas folks. We'll get to it though. Despite knowing that the plaintiffs hold the exclusive rights to the copyrighted material, the defendants released the infringing work number 1, 2, and 3 to the public without seeking permission or crediting the plaintiff. After being made aware of the infringement through communications from plaintiff's legal representation, the defendants have failed to take corrective actions, including offering compensation, credit, or otherwise resolving the matter. Okay, so Plies and his team are basically saying that they've reached out to try to take corrective actions to say, hey, you sampled my shit without me knowing what's going on. Y'all gonna pay me or what? Y'all gonna compensate a real goon or what, baby? Bust it down. He said they made no action to do so. The defendant's continued use and exploitation of the infringing work constitutes a knowing and intentional violation of the plaintiff's copyright. As a direct and proximate result of the defendant's unauthorized use of this copyrighted material, plaintiffs have suffered and continue to suffer significant harm. This harm includes, but is not limited to, loss of income and royalties that would have been due if the defendant had properly licensed the use of copyrighted material, which is actually pretty accurate. I'm not saying that they did sample your shit, but it's been somewhere close to 5-6 months. By now, royalties would have started coming in from streaming services, not so much on the publishing end, but on streaming services, royalties should be coming in. That would have been due if the defendants had properly licensed the use of the copyrighted material. Damage to the plaintiff's reputation and goodwill in the music industry. I wonder how that is so. How you lose your reputation for being improperly sampled. I guess they're saying, hey man, if y'all think y'all could just sample my shit without me signing off on it, people gonna think I'm a bitch. They're gonna think that they could do the same thing. Hell no, you're not gonna insult my reputation. As their creative contributions have been exploited without acknowledgement and the dilution of the value of the copyrighted material as has been associated with another work without the plaintiff's consent. First claim for relief for copyright infringement. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything additional here. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's infringement, the plaintiffs have suffered damages included but not limited to loss of profits, loss of licensing fees, and harm to the market value of the composition. And that's for both Soulja Boy's record, Glorilla's record with Megan, and Glorilla's remix with Megan and Cardi. All right? So that's 3 big records. Pretty Boy Swag might be the biggest of all 4. But we'll keep going. Dun, dun, dun. So this is all the same shit. Okay? Prayer for relief. Plaintiff seeks judgment against defendants in each of them in an amount according to proof as follows. For finding that defendant have directly infringed Plaintiff's copyright in the copyrighted material under 17 U.S. Code 501. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know if there's any total here for an award of actual damages to the maximum amount payable. So they're going to have to sift through the accounting and all of the royalties that have come in. He wants to be paid for his attorney fees, wants to be paid for the cost of the suit, wants an award of a prejudgment and post-judgment interest on any monetary award as permitted by law, and for such other and further relief as the court deems just and proper. Dated November 5th. So this went in yesterday. It's now being reported on today. And this was filed by Walter Mosley Esquire. Okay. Now, when you look up, or at least when I look up, Wannabe by Glorilla, I see that there's a lot of people credited in this record. It says written by Payday, which is a producer. Amari Freeman, I believe, is a producer. You got Gloria Woods, Harold Herman, Cerebro, Jordan Houston, Jorge Taveras, Keenan Bave Meter, Mario Mims, Megan Pete, which is Megan Thee Stallion, Paul Beauregard, Yaki Davis. The producers on this record include Ace Charisma, Payday, MK Mentality, Yo Gotti, Jorge Ace Taveras. So there's 5 producers on this record. I highly doubt Yo Gotti actually contribute any production to this song, but being that he has Glorilla in this deal, perhaps that's how he gets his royalties off of her music. I would love to go through the credits on all her songs to see if Yo Gotti is a credited producer on all of her music, but that's not the subject of today's video, right? But I don't see Soulja Boy. I don't see DeAndre Way in here. I don't see his co-producers from Pretty Boy Swag credited in this record. So I don't think they even put Pretty Boy Swag in the credits. Now, like I said before, there's a song called My Dougie by an artist by the name of Lil Will, who used the same exact sounds on his record in 2007, which predates Plies, Me and My Goons. And Lil Will is not credited in this record either. Okay? So, to my understanding, no samples were credited. When you pull up Pretty Boy Swag, I don't see no samples credited there. When you pull up Me and My Goons by Plies, who is alleging to be the original composer of the sounds used in this song, you don't see any samples on here either. But let me check just to be all the way thorough. Give me a second here. No. Produced by Necronom, written by A. Martin, B. Creer, Plies, and R. Levate, all named in the lawsuit. No sample credit there. But I would think y'all should have credited Lil Will and his producer, who put out their record a year before you did yours. Wonder what that's about, Plies. Oh, I got myself in the goddamn corner here still. Yeah. Yeah, serving your ass some double jeopardy in the corner and shit. So I think this is a very interesting lawsuit. I don't know how far this is gonna go. If you just listen without any knowledge of Lil Will's record, you listen to Plies, Me and My Goons, you listen to the sounds that are on that record, the dun 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 dun. Yeah, it sounds similar to Pretty Boy Swag. You listen to Pretty Boy Swag, you listen to the sounds on Wannabe. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, yeah. You go back and listen to My Dougie by motherfucking Lil Will 2007, you're gonna hear the same shit. So, where's Lil Will's lawsuit at? Sound like that nigga's been ripping his ass off the whole time. But again, we're gonna see how this thing plays out. We'll see if Megan and Cardi are still in this lawsuit when this thing really starts picking up steam and they have to go to court or, get a musicologist to come in or, figure out if they're going to settle. We'll see if they're still included. I doubt it. If their labels are still included, I doubt it. And to be honest, I really doubt if somebody brings up the Lil Will record and says, hey, well, this is the original song that introduced this sound and nobody's been crediting him. And this song is copyrighted. And you know what I'm saying? Maybe there's going to be a little bit more to it. Or they could say, hey, you stole your sound too. So you get no love. You get no credit because the song that you're trying to protect and file a suit on behalf of is not all that original either. Now, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a legal professional. It's going to be very interesting to see where this goes, but that's how it's looking to me, right? Again, seems like a shakedown, seems like what he would think is an easy payday, right? But everything that glitters ain't always gold, Plies. I know you feeling away. I know you put your support in, but I don't think this was the right move. And this might actually backfire on your ass. You understand what I'm saying? But however it goes, you'll have the day that you deserve. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like Soulja rags. Leading my people like quarterback. But I study this shit on my almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they died of me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but you run no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.